The human delegation moved quietly through the vast corridors of the Galactic Palace. Captain Luke Hayes led them, his steps firm and confident. The walls were smooth and bright, reflecting the soft light from above. The palace was immense, and the air carried a mix of curiosity and tension. Everywhere they looked, human dignitaries and officials were busy preparing for the rare ceremony. Claire Roberts, one of the high-ranking diplomats, walked beside Luke. She observed the hall carefully. It was filled with humans from different parts of the galaxy, all dressed in simple but elegant clothing. Their faces showed anticipation. She noticed a young man named Ryan Bell standing near the center. He looked calm and confident, his posture straight. There was something in his eyes that made people take notice. Claire could not tell if it was courage or sheer determination, but it drew attention. Queen Eliza, the human queen, sat on her throne at the far end of the hall. She was known for her wisdom and strength. Her gaze swept across the room, seeing everyone clearly. She ruled the galaxy with intelligence and fairness, earning respect from humans everywhere. Today, she was to witness a ceremony that would decide alliances and future power. She knew that even small actions today could shape the fate of many. The hall was filled with quiet chatter as more humans arrived. Among them was Maria Cole, a human woman known for her calm and strategic mind. She walked confidently toward Ryan Bell. Her steps were deliberate and her eyes locked on him. She moved as if she owned the space around her. Everyone noticed her approach, but no one spoke. The room seemed to hold its breath. As Maria reached Ryan, she stopped and smiled. It was a small gesture, but it carried weight. Ryan looked at her, slightly surprised, but he did not move back. He maintained his calm. Claire watched closely, sensing that this moment was unusual. Maria had never acted this way in public before. Her presence was magnetic, and the focus of everyone around shifted toward them. Captain Luke Hayes stepped forward, signaling the group to form lines for the ceremony. The humans obeyed quietly, each taking their assigned positions. The air was filled with tension, curiosity, and expectation. Everyone knew that the Queen's words and actions today could change the course of history. Ryan and Maria stayed close, exchanging a few words that no one else could hear. Their conversation was brief, but there was a clear understanding. Maria seemed determined, while Ryan remained steady, measuring his responses carefully. Claire noticed the subtle exchange and realized it was important. She wondered if the moment would have larger consequences later in the day. The ceremony began with simple speeches about unity and human progress. The hall was quiet, listening to the Queen's words. She spoke of cooperation, strength, and responsibility. The humans in attendance nodded respectfully. The Queen's voice was calm, but carried authority. She emphasized the importance of trust and courage among humans. As the ceremony continued, Maria moved slightly, positioning herself closer to Ryan. It was clear that she intended to make a statement, but no one could predict what it would be. The hall was large and all eyes were on the center. Tension built slowly, like a rising wave. People felt that something important was about to happen, though no one could say what. Claire felt a shiver of anticipation. She had seen many events in her career, but today felt different. Ryan stood tall, his expression unreadable. Maria's gaze never left him. She spoke softly, almost a whisper, but her words carried weight. Even without hearing them, the energy around them was palpable. It was a moment that would be remembered. The human delegation waited, aware that the next action could define alliances and influence power. Queen Eliza observed quietly, her sharp eyes noticing the smallest movements. She knew that leadership required both wisdom and the ability to act decisively. Ryan and Maria were both showing signs of strong character. As the first part of the ceremony ended, the hall buzzed with quiet speculation. Humans whispered in small groups, curious about the connection between Ryan and Maria. Claire noted the reactions, realizing that this was the beginning of something significant. The story of the day had just started, and it would unfold in ways no one expected. The tension, the attention, and the power of human presence were all on display, setting the stage for events that would shock and change the entire hall. The ceremony continued, and the hall remained tense. Ryan stood near Maria, both of them calm but alert. Queen Eliza watched carefully, her eyes scanning every corner. The humans in the room sensed that something unusual was about to happen. The air was filled with quiet whispers and subtle movements. Maria took a deep breath and stepped forward. She raised her voice so everyone could hear. Her words echoed through the hall. "I wish you were my husband, human." The declaration was clear and confident. The hall froze. Humans whispered to each other, shocked by her bold statement. It was unexpected and carried weight far beyond the personal. Ryan's expression remained calm, though his mind raced. He knew the declaration would create tension and curiosity. He looked at Maria, seeing her determination and the seriousness in her eyes. The crowd watched, unsure how to react. Some nodded in understanding, while others stared in disbelief. The room was silent, except for soft whispers. Queen Eliza did not react immediately. She studied Ryan and Maria carefully, reading their expressions and body language. She knew that this was more than a personal remark. Maria's words could influence alliances and decisions that affected many humans. The Queen's gaze was sharp, considering how to respond in a way that maintained peace and order. Claire Roberts noticed the shifting energy in the hall. She felt that Maria's words carried both personal meaning and political significance. She moved closer to observe reactions from other delegates. They were cautious, some confused, others intrigued. The balance of power and attention had shifted subtly but noticeably. Ryan stepped forward slightly, addressing the hall in a calm and steady voice. He said, "I am honored by your words, Maria. We will face the future together with wisdom and courage." His tone was firm and confident. The crowd began to relax slightly, understanding that Ryan could manage the situation without panic. His response added weight to the moment, showing strength and calmness. Maria nodded, pleased with Ryan's response. She returned to her position, but her eyes never left him. There was an unspoken understanding between them. Claire observed how their connection affected others in the hall. Humans who had been hesitant or unsure now seemed more engaged. The room slowly regained focus, but the tension lingered, like the calm before a storm. Queen Elisa finally spoke, her voice steady and commanding. She said, "Let the words of today remind us that human courage and wisdom guide our path. Alliances are strengthened when we act with respect and clarity." Her statement reassured the hall. Humans listened, realizing that the situation would not spiral out of control. The Queen's words added authority and calm, highlighting the importance of leadership and careful judgment. As the ceremony proceeded, Ryan and Maria exchanged brief glances, communicating silently. Their connection was strong, but the weight of expectations rested on their shoulders. Every action, every word mattered in the eyes of the attending humans. The hall was alive with subtle observation, careful analysis, and quiet anticipation. Claire could see that Maria's statement had caused both curiosity and admiration. It was clear that Ryan's calm response had earned him respect. The dynamics of the hall had shifted. Humans were now aware that the two young humans could influence events far beyond the personal or the immediate. Their actions and words could shape alliances, decisions, and the future direction of human leadership. Tension slowly gave way to cautious admiration. Humans discussed the implications quietly among themselves. Ryan and Maria's interaction had become the central point of attention. Every human in the hall understood that this was a turning moment. Claire noted how the confidence, clarity, and courage of humans stood out, setting an example for others. The ceremony continued with speeches and acknowledgments, but the energy had changed. Humans who had been skeptical or doubtful now watched with respect. Ryan's steady demeanor and Maria's bold declaration had reminded everyone of the power and influence humans held. The hall, once tense and uncertain, now felt the presence of determination and strength. As part 2 of the day ended, humans began to understand the depth of what had happened. Maria's words and Ryan's response were more than personal statements. They symbolized courage, strategy, and human capability. The story of the day was beginning to unfold, and it was clear that humans would play a pivotal role in shaping the future. The hall remained alive with whispers and anticipation, knowing that the next steps could change everything. The hall was quiet after Maria's declaration, but the silence carried weight. Humans whispered to each other, wondering about the deeper meaning of her words. The attention on Ryan and Maria had shifted from curiosity to concern. People speculated about alliances, power, and what this could mean for human leadership in the galaxy. Queen Eliza sat on her throne, her gaze never leaving Ryan and Maria. She knew that Maria's declaration was not only personal but could influence the political balance. She signaled to her advisors to watch closely and gather information. Decisions made today could ripple through the galaxy, affecting humans far beyond the hall. Claire Roberts moved among the delegates quietly, observing reactions. Some humans nodded approvingly, seeing the potential for stronger alliances. Others were cautious, unsure if Maria's words were wise. Claire realized that the next steps were critical. Ryan needed to respond in a way that maintained calm and showed leadership. After a short pause, Ryan stepped to the center of the hall. He spoke with clear confidence, addressing both Maria and the gathered humans. "We are here to build a future together, to protect and guide our people." Maria's words remind us that human courage and unity are our greatest strength. His voice carried authority, and the crowd reacted with quiet respect. People began to understand that he could handle the responsibility that came with Maria's bold statement. Maria listened carefully, her expression serious. She nodded in agreement, signaling her support for Ryan and the path forward. Their connection was clear, and humans in the hall felt the strength of their bond. It was not just about one person or one statement. It was about vision, courage, and leadership. Claire noticed that the respect for both Ryan and Maria was growing rapidly among the attendees. The council began to discuss the implications of Maria's words. Leaders debated whether this personal statement could influence decisions about alliances and power. Some argued that it would create new opportunities, while others worried about potential conflicts. The conversation was serious, and every human in the room listened intently. The weight of the moment was evident. Queen Elisa finally spoke, her voice calm but commanding. "We must consider the intentions behind these words. Human courage and clarity are not limited to one person. Alliances strengthen when we act with wisdom and foresight. Today shows us that humans can lead with confidence." Her words reassured the hall. Humans understood that the Queen's authority and guidance would prevent chaos while supporting strong leadership. Outside the hall, Ryan and Maria were briefed privately by Queen Eliza. She explained the potential consequences of Maria's statement and the importance of careful action. She encouraged Ryan to embrace his role, not just as a partner to Maria, but as a human leader capable of shaping the future. Ryan listened carefully, understanding the responsibility that had suddenly been placed on him. Maria spoke softly to Ryan, her words steady and determined. She explained that her intention was not to create confusion, but to show trust and support. She believed that together, they could strengthen human leadership and prevent disputes among factions. Ryan nodded, realizing the depth of her plan and the importance of their partnership. The hall began to regain its routine, but the energy had shifted. Humans discussed quietly in small groups, analyzing every word and movement. Claire noticed that confidence in Ryan and Maria was spreading. Humans, who had been hesitant now, saw their potential to influence and lead. The story of the day was becoming larger than any one person, symbolizing human strength and unity. As Part 3 progressed, the hall continued to focus on strategy and diplomacy. Humans prepared for discussions about alliances and responsibilities. But the underlying respect for Ryan and Maria was clear. Every human understood that their actions were not ordinary. They represented courage, clarity, and leadership in the human way. Claire reflected on the scene, realizing that the day was historic. Maria's declaration and Ryan's response had shifted the perception of humans in the galaxy.
Anchors.
Their courage and clarity were setting an example for others. The hall, once tense and uncertain, now felt the presence of determination and leadership. Humans were beginning to see that their future depended on clear decisions, trust, and unity. The story of the ceremony was only just unfolding, and the events that followed would change the course of human leadership forever. Outside the palace, quiet conversations were taking place among human leaders. Some were concerned about Maria's public declaration. They wondered if rivals would try to use it against Ryan or Maria. The tension was growing, and it was clear that careful planning was needed. Spies and factions were watching closely, waiting for an opportunity. Ryan moved with Queen Eliza's guards to a private training area. He knew that being prepared was essential. Practiced defensive maneuvers and strategies that could help in any sudden confrontation. The humans around him watched carefully, noting his calm and steady approach. Maria arrived shortly after, joining him in the preparations. Her presence was focused and determined, showing she was not just a symbol, but a strong and active partner. Claire Roberts kept moving through the palace, gathering information. She spoke with key humans and noted the rising concerns among factions. Some wanted to exploit Maria's declaration for their gain, while others simply observed. Claire understood that the situation required careful observation and action. She also noticed that Ryan and Maria's connection inspired trust in many humans, giving them a subtle but strong advantage. Back in the hall, Queen Eliza discussed the situation with her closest advisors. She highlighted the importance of protecting both Ryan and Maria while also preventing conflicts among human factions. She emphasized leadership and strategic thinking. Humans needed to show strength and clarity to maintain order. Her guidance was calm and decisive, offering reassurance to everyone involved. Ryan and Maria worked together, preparing for any possible threats. Maria analyzed the movements of other humans and factions, identifying potential challenges. Ryan focused on defensive strategies and ways to maintain peace without compromising human authority. Their teamwork was seamless, and humans observing them felt confidence in their leadership. The combination of intelligence, courage, and unity was becoming apparent. As the day progressed, small signs of trouble appeared. A group of humans attempted to spread rumors, testing loyalty and trust. Claire quickly intercepted the situation, speaking to key humans and redirecting attention to Ryan and Maria. Her quick action prevented potential disruption. The palace remained calm, but humans were aware that vigilance was necessary. Ryan and Maria shared a brief conversation about their next steps. Maria reminded Ryan of the importance of visible leadership. She suggested subtle ways to show unity and strength without creating tension. Ryan agreed, appreciating her insight. Their partnership was proving effective in balancing diplomacy, strategy, and personal connection. Humans around them began to notice and admire their careful and confident approach. Queen Eliza returned to the hall to observe humans and the reactions to the unfolding situation. She saw that humans were adapting well, showing courage and intelligence. Ryan and Maria's leadership inspired calm and focus. Humans were beginning to recognize that their strength came not just from authority, but from clarity, trust, and teamwork. As Part 4 of the story developed, humans in the palace began to coordinate more closely. Small groups discussed plans for alliances and defense. They respected Ryan and Maria's guidance and followed their example. The hall, once filled with uncertainty, now demonstrated a sense of purpose. Humans were learning that preparation, observation, and teamwork could overcome potential threats. Claire reflected on the events, noting that the human approach to leadership was proving superior. Courage, intelligence, and clear communication were guiding humans through a tense and complex situation. The palace, once a place of mere ceremony, had become a center of strategy and unity. Ryan and Maria were at the heart of this change, shaping the actions and decisions of everyone around them. By the end of the day, humans were more confident in their roles. Ryan and Maria's teamwork had strengthened alliances and demonstrated that humans could handle unexpected challenges. The palace was calm, but everyone understood that vigilance was necessary. The story of the day was unfolding, and humans were proving that courage, clarity, and unity were the keys to leadership and success. The stage was set for future events that would test humans even further, but with Ryan and Maria leading, the hall felt the presence of strength, strategy, and determination. The next morning, the palace was alive with activity. Humans moved quickly through the halls, preparing for meetings and discussions about alliances and responsibilities. Ryan and Maria walked together, calm but focused. Their partnership was becoming stronger, and humans noticed how well they complemented each other. Confidence and respect surrounded them. Claire Roberts observed from a distance, taking notes on interactions and decisions. She saw that humans were beginning to trust Ryan and Maria's leadership. Doubts from earlier in the day were slowly fading, replaced with admiration. Humans who had been cautious were now paying close attention, learning from their approach to challenges and decisions. Ryan and Maria attended a council meeting where humans debated plans for future missions and defense strategies. Maria spoke clearly and confidently, offering ideas that balanced caution with bold action. Ryan added his perspective, showing careful planning and calm decision-making. Together they impressed humans in the hall, demonstrating that their partnership was effective and reliable. As discussions continued, humans began to share insights about potential threats and opportunities. Maria analyzed the risks, showing how human strength and intelligence could prevent mistakes. Ryan suggested strategies for negotiation and defense, emphasizing unity and trust. Humans started to see that leadership required more than authority. It required intelligence, courage, and clarity. Outside the council room, smaller groups of humans discussed the progress of Ryan and Maria. Some expressed surprise at how quickly they gained influence, while others felt inspired. Humans who had been uncertain about the ceremony now realized the importance of clear and decisive action. The story of Ryan and Maria's leadership was spreading quietly, but effectively. Later, Ryan and Maria walked through the gardens of the palace, reflecting on the events. Maria reminded Ryan that their actions had consequences far beyond personal matters. They were influencing humans across the galaxy, showing that clear thinking and courage could guide decisions. Ryan nodded, understanding the responsibility he carried, not just for himself, but for the humans who looked to him for guidance. Claire approached to deliver a report on faction discussions and potential challenges. She noted that while some humans still tested boundaries, the overall confidence in Ryan and Maria was growing. Humans were observing their leadership style and adapting. Their calm approach to difficult situations was teaching others how to act with intelligence and courage. As the day progressed, small challenges arose. Humans debated priorities, questioned plans, and tested alliances. Ryan and Maria responded with patience and clarity. Maria suggested subtle adjustments to plans that balanced risk with opportunity. Ryan ensured that every decision reflected human values of courage, responsibility, and unity. Their actions reassured humans and strengthened trust. Queen Eliza observed from the throne room, satisfied with the progress. Humans were adapting to challenges, learning from Ryan and Maria's leadership. She saw that their approach was setting an example, demonstrating the importance of calm, clear thinking, and courage in leadership. Humans in the hall began to feel a sense of purpose and direction. Claire reflected on the influence Ryan and Maria had on humans around them. Their partnership was more than personal. It symbolized unity, intelligence, and strength. Humans who had doubted or questioned earlier were now inspired to act with clarity and courage. The palace, once filled with tension, now felt the presence of determination and strategy. As Part 5 came to an end, humans understood that leadership required more than authority. It required careful thinking, courage, and teamwork. Ryan and Maria had shown that humans could lead effectively, even in challenging situations. Their actions had strengthened trust and alliances, and humans were beginning to recognize that unity and intelligence were the true keys to success. The stage was set for future challenges, but with Ryan and Maria guiding humans. The hall was filled with confidence, strength, and determination. The palace was filled with energy as news of a potential attack reached Queen Eliza. Humans moved quickly to prepare defenses. Ryan and Maria stepped forward, ready to lead. Humans watched them closely, noting their calm and strategic approach. Their presence inspired confidence and determination. Claire Roberts moved among humans, reporting on potential threats and observing reactions. She saw that humans were anxious, but focused. Ryan and Maria coordinated with the palace guards, reviewing defensive strategies and positioning humans to respond effectively. Every human knew that vigilance and unity were critical. As the first wave of attackers approached, Ryan took command. His voice was steady and clear, giving instructions that humans followed without hesitation. Maria directed human units to secure key positions, using intelligence and foresight to prevent mistakes. Humans moved efficiently, showing courage and discipline under pressure. Queen Eliza observed from a secure location, impressed by the leadership of Ryan and Maria. She noted that their teamwork and strategic thinking were preventing panic and maintaining order. Humans were beginning to see that their strength came not only from weapons or authority, but from clear thinking unity, and courage. The first skirmish occurred at the palace gates. Humans defended positions with precision following Ryan's guidance. Maria coordinated reinforcements, ensuring that no area was left vulnerable. Humans fought with discipline, and their actions demonstrated training, intelligence, and bravery. The attackers were pushed back, but humans remained alert for further challenges. During the battle, Maria spoke loudly to human groups, guiding them and providing reassurance. Her voice carried confidence and authority. Ryan moved between positions, assessing situations and giving instructions that minimized risk. Humans followed without hesitation, inspired by their calm and capable leadership. Claire watched the events closely, recording key actions and strategies. She saw that humans were learning from Ryan and Maria, observing their methods and imitating their decisiveness. The attack, meant to create chaos, instead highlighted human strength and coordination. Every move reinforced the importance of strategy, courage, and clear communication. As the battle continued, a group of attackers tried to flank the palace. Ryan anticipated the move and directed humans to intercept. Maria adjusted positions quickly, guiding reinforcements to strengthen weak points. Humans acted in unity, showing resilience and intelligence. Their coordination frustrated the attackers, who began to retreat. Queen Eliza addressed the humans from the throne room, praising their efforts. Her words reinforced trust and morale. She emphasized that human leadership and teamwork had turned a potential disaster into a demonstration of strength. Humans in the hall felt pride and respect for Ryan and Maria, understanding that their courage and clarity had made the difference. After the battle, humans gathered to assess the situation. Ryan and Maria ensured that all humans were safe and accounted for. They discussed strategies to prevent further attacks, showing careful planning and foresight. Claire observed that humans now fully trusted Ryan and Maria, seeing them as capable leaders who could guide humans in crisis. The victory strengthened human alliances and demonstrated leadership that others could follow. Humans realized that courage, intelligence, and unity were more important than fear or doubt. Ryan and Maria's partnership had shown the power of clear thinking and teamwork under pressure. Humans were inspired and motivated to act with determination in future challenges. As Part 6 ended, humans in the palace celebrated their success quietly, knowing that vigilance was still necessary. Ryan and Maria had proven themselves not only as leaders but as symbols of human strength and capability. Humans understood that with clarity, courage, and unity, they could overcome challenges and protect their people. The hall, once tense, now radiated confidence and readiness, setting the stage for the final steps in the story of human leadership and unity. The hall was filled with a sense of achievement. Humans moved confidently, knowing that their unity and courage had been tested and proven. Ryan and Maria walked through the center, receiving nods and quiet words of respect. Their partnership had shown humans the power of clear thinking, strength, and determination. Claire Roberts observed the reactions of humans around them. She noticed pride and admiration growing. Humans who had doubted earlier now acknowledged that Ryan and Maria had led them successfully. Their actions had strengthened trust and alliances, showing that calm leadership could prevent chaos and guide humans to victory. Queen Elisa stepped forward, her voice carrying authority and approval. She praised humans for their courage, intelligence, and unity. She highlighted the leadership of Ryan and Maria, showing that humans could handle challenges through clear thinking and teamwork. The hall echoed with quiet respect and approval for the efforts and decisions made throughout the day. Maria looked at Ryan and smiled, her eyes reflecting trust and determination. She approached him and spoke quietly, reminding him that their partnership symbolized more than just personal connection. It represented human courage, unity, and the ability to lead effectively. Ryan nodded, understanding the weight of their position and the influence they had gained. Humans gathered in smaller groups, discussing plans for future alliances and strategies. Ryan and Maria guided these conversations, showing patience and intelligence. Humans listened, learning how to combine courage with careful thinking. Their leadership inspired confidence and strengthened the bonds among humans present. Outside the hall, humans prepared for the continuation of their responsibilities. Ryan and Maria oversaw training and strategy discussions. Their presence reminded humans that unity and collaboration were crucial. Every action and decision reflected the lessons learned during the events of the day. Humans were becoming more disciplined, coordinated, and aware of their potential. Claire watched as humans absorbed the leadership example of Ryan and Maria. She saw that their influence extended beyond immediate decisions, shaping the mindset of humans who observed them. Courage, clarity, and unity were becoming guiding principles. Humans who had been hesitant now acted with confidence and purpose, inspired by the example set by the two young leaders. Queen Eliza addressed the hall one final time. She emphasized the importance of leadership, responsibility, and the power of human unity. She noted that humans had demonstrated strength through strategy, intelligence, and collaboration. The message was clear. Human capability and determination were unmatched when guided by clear thinking and courage. As the day came to a close, humans celebrated their successes quietly. Ryan and Maria moved among them, offering guidance, encouragement, and reassurance. Humans felt supported, respected, and inspired. Their actions had strengthened the hall and prepared humans for challenges that lay ahead. The confidence and unity of humans were now evident to all. Claire reflected on the events, noting that the human approach to leadership had proven superior. Courage, clear thinking, and teamwork had turned uncertainty into victory. Humans were now ready to face the future with determination. Knowing that Ryan and Maria's partnership symbolized the strength and potential of human leadership, the hall, once tense and uncertain, now radiated stability, unity, and strength. Humans understood that leadership required courage, intelligence, and collaboration. Ryan and Maria had shown that humans could handle challenges with clarity and determination. Their story had become an example of human excellence, inspiring confidence and admiration. The future was bright, and humans were ready to lead with courage, unity, and unwavering resolve. The events of the day had transformed perceptions, strengthened trust, and established a new era of human leadership. With Ryan and Maria at the heart of it all,